Sam Altman had appeared on the BG2 podcast, which is from a couple of venture capitalists, and Brad Gerstner had asked him a very, like, the kind of question that if you're in PR 101, you're expecting, which is,
how can a company with 13 billion in revenues make 1.4 trillion of spend commitments?
Altman, his reaction was almost indignant, like, I'm above having to answer this question. And it's like, no, that is the one question you need a solid answer on, right?
And you've heard the criticism,
First
Sam.
of all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. I just, enough.
And I'll say he's talking to a friendly investor. I believe Brad is an investor in OpenAI, and Sam sort of had this quip of, well, I'll find someone to buy your shares. Instead of answering the question, was sort of like, how could you be bearish on us? That rubbed me the wrong way too. I'll give you another deep cut, interesting one. One of my favorite podcasters is Tyler Cowen, and he does conversations with Tyler. I don't know if I shared this episode with you, but he also interviewed Sam Altman. I think the episode dropped within a week of the BG2 one. One of the things it was just ironic, and I'm not saying that this is bearish for the AI sector. He kept asking Sam these questions about, how do you leverage yourself? How are you achieving this growth? And you expect Sam to say, I'm using GPT every day. And he kept saying, well, we hire really great people. And Tyler Cowen even asked, like, when you're going in to learn about these new markets where you're doing deals, in Saudi Arabia or Arizona or wherever, how do you develop the local expertise? So if I said, we hire a lot of local experts. And Tyler said, well, why not use AI for that? And Sam sort of said, well, there's some like subtlety and nuance that we can only get from experts, which I thought was very interesting out of the guy who is, in many ways, has to sell the most bullish version of what AI is, sort of admitting that there's still some really important use cases where it's not there yet. That's not bearish for the technology. I think it's just an interesting commentary on where it is today. And he even said in that conversation with Tyler, like, they had a hypothetical, how long until we have an AI CEO? And you sort of could hear, well, like, maybe that's not really realistic for a couple reasons. So I just thought that dichotomy was interesting. You have to be out there selling the edge potential of AI, while also maybe admitting internally that in your own operations, you're not ready to, it's not quite ready for prime time to fully replace those skills.